Hi, guys. Welcome back. Lane change. Hi, babe. Nice to see you. All right. So, as you guys know, I'm a fan of big coffee mugs, but I got a bigger one yet. So, I think I can only probably go up maybe another few ounces before I'll be maxed out. But for those of you who always laugh at my coffee mugs and the size of them, I have an even larger one now. And it really does outpace my previous largest mugs by a fair amount. So with that in mind, that's not the only thing that got bigger. I also ended up, hang on, I need a sip. I also ended up with a really big tarot deck. And this is prompting me, as you guys know, I've been down sick for a bit. It's prompting me to do what's the big message. So we literally have a tarot deck that is basically an 8x11 size. So we're going to go through and do just a brief, big, important message for each zodiac. I will timestamp these afterwards. And this is just kind of brief. This is mostly because I've been missing for most of the week with my lungs being bad, and now that I'm getting back in the swing, I'm feeling so much better. But I'd like to kind of like get us a reset where everybody gets a little something, each one of the zodiacs, and then we'll roll onward and hopefully be back to normal throughout the rest of this weekend. So with that in mind, let us begin. Hi everyone, I'm doing so much better, and it's so wonderful to see you guys. All right, so here we go. This is obviously not something I can actually shuffle, right? So I'm literally going to have to just basically wherever my hand pulls is where we are. So we are starting out with Virgo. Virgo's big message is the world. We have a really important time frame for Virgo to start looking at their life in a different way, to do something different. This will be great to march into our next series, by the way, because we are going into Akashic Record messages starting tomorrow. So Virgo's message here with the World card, we could have an important Capricorn on the upswing. Maybe Virgo's got great legs and is needing to wear some cutesy outfits or something. Maybe Virgo's going to be working on their legs. There is something about, our legs carry us through life. We could also say that we're walking through like an energy field, walking through a portal. Virgo might need to walk with more confidence from here on out into any room they walk into. Doesn't matter if they're showing leg or not, but just walk with confidence. There is something that's been growing. I don't know if somebody has like ivy or something up around their like an arched doorway or some kind of like back patio, something along those lines. But I feel like that's going to really take a nice jump, at least into next spring. But all of this says like there's a celebratory energy for Virgo moving forward, but they do need to embrace it because things are not going to be what they were before. 2026 could be Virgo's year. Could be a year where their fitness is like on fire. They look amazing. They walk with more confidence. Everything here shrieks confidence to me, but it's really important. If Virgo has it's like a specific place that they need to go, it says walk in kind of like, this is where I'm meant to be. I'm not going to be shy. I'm not going to be fearful. I'm going to walk right in because this is what all of these steps in my life have brought me to. It's interesting because I'm just noticing that the background here is so like the same color blue as my bookshelf backdrop here. So I don't know if like antique blue, if there's a piece of furniture, if that's an appealing color right now to Virgo as well. But this says Virgo 2026 is your year, but it's all going to be focusing on confidence. I feel like it could be a moment in Virgo's life coming up where when they walk into a room, it's like, wow, that's walking into this space changed everything for me. So looking forward to seeing what our 2026 readings have coming up also a little bit later on this month. Next up, let's go to Capricorn. Anybody who's just tuning in, I have the world's biggest tarot deck. I can't exactly shuffle, so it's not going to be like a standard shuff. It's just going to be like I'm randomly picking out of the middle. You got to be kidding me. What are the odds on that for Capricorn getting the world? Hang on. You all know when that happens, I usually go again. We have 7 of Pentacles. Okay, Capricorn. Capricorn's message here, the big message, the important message. This is about investing right now in the upcoming future, but investing in oneself. This Capricorn could have planned something for some time. This could be something that they've already waited to develop for a long time, where somebody's buying land and they're going to be developing it, or they're what we do today is not really for today. It's for 7 years from now. It's for later on. If Capricorn is investing in anything, and this means like self-development, if this is, like today, for example, I had some stuff I had to take care of that isn't for today. It's for, months from now. Oftentimes we have to prep. I also pre-prepped some of dinner. I have a batch of cookie dough already made, but not finished, not baked yet. There's different things that you do before you need it done. But this is Capricorn saying, yes, I'm really good at that. I'm really good at planning today for my tomorrow. And this is very much for Capricorn's own future. I don't think this is Capricorn having to wait on anybody else. I think it's just the reminder that if Capricorn had something that they needed to do and they've been thinking about it, it's like, don't put it off. Get going on it now. Even if it's, make something in advance and tuck it in the freezer. I mean, I'm not saying maybe make food now and wait until 2026 to eat it, but this is more about Capricorn really needing to remember that you don't want to put stuff off right now if it's going to help Capricorn so much as they move forward after this. So whatever their future holds, there's something pretty big, pretty important coming up for Capricorn, but they're prepping it right now. So don't wait on that. Next up, we have Taurus coming in at 6:15. Let's get to it. Taurus, what's the big message for Taurus? I cannot shuffle this gigantic deck, guys. This is just a weird, fun, silly. I'm doing earth signs first. But what's the big important message in the moment for Taurus? Death card, strong Scorpio energy. This is the way I would look at it is it's not just what Taurus is, shedding and letting go of right now, but I think that there's somebody else who's changed dramatically. I just put out a retrograde message for Taurus today, and that does not correlate with this at all. So this is, something different than the retrograde message. But this says we have Taurus noticing a massive shift. Now, I look at the death card as a great card. It does require us to let go of something in order to accept something new. But I'm going to say, if this is someone entering into Taurus's life, they may be different than who Taurus remembers. This could be somebody rides up on their motorcycle. Taurus is thinking that they're just, whatever, my best friend's cousin who came to town for the holidays. And it's like, wow, they grew up. They seem to be much more powerful. There's something, this is a person of great power and countenance. So if somebody like that is coming into Taurus's world, Taurus might have to readdress who they come across as. This is very impressive. And I almost think that, we could reverse it and say Taurus is the one that other people will be looking at like this. I don't think so, though, because we're in the position of looking at this individual and kind of looking, up. Maybe they're taller than we remember. Maybe they're more impressive than we remember. Maybe it's because Taurus is getting to know someone a little bit better. And they're like, wow, I never knew that about them. And now they've changed in my eyes. This feels like, with the red flags, this looks like some passion. It looks like Taurus could get a little bit turned on by somebody who drives a black car or a black motorcycle or something about them. Black is a color of power. It's also a color of protection. And I'm wondering if they never really showed who they were. Maybe this is quiet, strong instead of loud, strong. But I think Taurus has a new budding affection or romance on the horizon with somebody who Taurus is going to look at very differently when this person comes into Taurus's world. All right, next up, let's go to Libra. We're going to go into air signs next. These are just kind of quick, big messages because I cannot shuffle this massive deck. Libra, this is it's kind of a joke and kind of not. I didn't expect it to go this way, but this is what we got. So we're rocking it. And I thought, let's do something I almost never do, which is an all signs story. I will timestamp afterwards. Libra, the important message or big message for Libra right now, we're bringing in Leo energy and we have the sun. I don't know if there is a child involved. This could be Libra's inner child, or this could be someone else who has a child or maybe a nephew. I don't picture this as Libra's own kiddo. I feel like either Libra is realizing they want to be a really great role model to someone. This is important to them. And that in turn could make them feel more proud of themselves. I feel like Libra just shifted gears into saying, you know what actually matters? I got to remember, why do I do the stuff I do in my life? It's because I'm setting up something better for the next generation. We're the adults of the world. We have a responsibility to actually think about, especially since we've already been kids, we already know the things that scared us. We already know the stuff that made us happy. So let's do better for the little ones behind us. Let's not walk around remembering the tainted childhood we had and the pains that we had. Instead, let's say, because of that, I'm going to make damn sure I leave something better for the little ones behind me. It just, there's this really positive, powerful, like leadership energy coming off of the sun, which with Leo energy, we always have leadership, but this is in a new way. This is like, I want to say that this Libra has like a new like sense of power and excitement to like do something fantastic with their energy and be really thrilled with the stuff that they're giving their energy to. I think Libra is going to be a part of like genuinely being thrilled with their own life's endeavors because they're thinking about it in the context of, I'm going to make it better for somebody behind me, somebody, the little ones that are coming up behind me. That makes me feel really good, really valuable. I feel like this Libra should be proud of themselves. I feel like they do some really good acts in this world, and it just says it's going to make a difference. That's a great message. Absolutely fantastic message, Libras. All right, next up, Gemini's coming in at 10:56. Gems, this is just a really weird short message. That is because I have got the world's most massive tarot deck right now. It is not something I can shuffle. It is just one of those things where I'm going to have to randomly pull. I don't know what else I can do with this other than I love the deck, but it's huge. And so I'm doing this for fun, but looking at what's the big message. I also happen to have a very, very big tea mug at this point. So it's all about the big, the important. Gemini, the big important message right now is about where our character is going and how powerfully they are gravitating toward it. So we have the Chariot, and the Chariot is Cancerian energy, but it's about moving forward into one's future, obviously. But I always say only emperors and empresses get to ride in chariots. I don't know if somebody might see like a really big vehicle on the road or something as well, and that could be a symbol to remind, Gemini about like the monumental things that they are shifting and changing in their own life. Also, I'm getting like somebody looking up at a cruise ship. I keep thinking that this is about money for Gemini. Like the big message here is keep moving forward because Gemini's life is going at this upward trajectory. Maybe they're going to be able to supersize stuff. Maybe they're going to be able to afford nicer things, but it is about, the work that we put in, the energy that we dedicate to things, the fact that we say, I'm building my empire. So even if it's one brick at a time, every brick helps me build an empire. I think Gemini might right now be kind of in the shadow of what they want, looking up and saying, God, that's a long way to go to get up to where I want to be. It's a long way to be on the whatever. I've never been on a cruise, by the way, so I don't know. Is the like top deck that's like the best, right? The cabins on the ship. It's like it's going to be a while before I have that kind of money. But you know what? Every little moment, every little brick, everything I save, everything I build brings me closer to that success. This actually, because it's a major arcana, I don't think is that far into the future, though. This feels huge. This feels like Gemini is headed for great success, great future. It does say, because only emperors and empresses ride in the Chariot, never surrender like one's integrity. Don't try to shortcut. Keep doing the brick by brick if that's what it takes. Keep building one, customer at a time. Keep doing something with that great unique brand or stamp that Gemini has that is the essence of who they are, because that is the thing that will keep helping them rise up in the ranks without ever compromising like their true essence and their true life path. But this looks like somebody's headed for tremendous success. I would look at that not as love at all, though, more like life stuff. All right, next up, Aquarian. Here we go, coming in at 13:55. Aquarius, I have the world's biggest tarot deck here, so I don't know if it's the world's biggest, but I have a really big one right now. And I can't shuffle it in any traditional fashion, so I'm forced to just do that. No way. I'm forced to just do this. Hang on. I'm saying that, Aquarius, because I just did Gemini. Gemini got the same thing. Hang on. That means I have to go again. We have got the Knight of Wands. Ooh. So this is going to be read very different than Gemini. We have really strong passion and desire coming in for Aquarius. So the big message with the big deck energy here. Play on words, slightly intended there. This is our most passionate character, right? This is our most passionate and empowered character. Oh, I just realized this is not the same card stock. Ooh, okay. Sorry, but I can feel the difference now. With that Knight of Wands, and that could be a shocker. Somebody could like notice a textural change in something. That could be an energy shift. We have somebody that was full steam ahead shifting over into like desire and passion. This doesn't have to be bad. This doesn't have to mean that somebody is like, oh, lower quality, or they're really just here for passion. I'm thinking a relationship has just gotten hot and steamy, or will shift from like, we were prim and proper and now it's getting hot and steamy. So things are changing. Oh my God. Signs and Sinks, thank you so much. Signs and Sinks just gifted 10 memberships, you guys. So let me briefly say Christina 111, Sarah Pritchard, Brave Pink Hero Green, Ashley Slashley, Brittany, Savita Convalius, Paris Jade Humphrey, and Carrie and Gazia and Mohsin. You guys are all now members, and that is courtesy of Signs and Sinks. Thank you so much, sweetheart. That was incredibly generous. Just know if I just read your name off as one of the new members, it means you guys can tap into the members corner. Every Monday I add a new members only video there, okay? Also, I'll post something later tonight for you guys to vote on for next week. So anyway, welcome. You guys are so lovely. Thank you again, Signs and Sinks. Thank you. So with that Chariot and the Knight of Wands, Aquarius, it feels to me like we have got a massive shift in the way a character may look at another person, or the heat, because that's I'm sorry, everything just got spicy. I'm hearing Carrie Hilson, love me, it's the way you love me. Yeah, it's a pretty spicy little video too. I don't know if this is somebody that Aquarius would not have expected would have such a, like, I don't know if this person is willing to suddenly drive all night. We have travel here, and it seems like somebody would be willing to travel as far as possible. It doesn't matter. Even if they just saw Aquarius, this is the person who would hop back in the car and drive back across town to get some more good loving with Aquarius. Like, this is, whomever this is spicy. This is still something that is approaching. I don't know that this person is in Aquarius's world yet. This is what's coming. It's kind of like, I hope Aquarius eats their Wheaties and gets some rest now, because they have big passion and big love on the horizon. If not love, big passion, okay? And, a physical kind of love story on the horizon. Actually, kind of nice. Maybe that's just what Aquarius needs. So maybe that's why they're welcoming that in. Thank you again. That was unbelievably kind. Thank you so much, Signs and Sinks. You were so amazing. Thank you, babe. All right, next up, Leo, coming in at 1754. Leo, we are working with the world's biggest tarot deck. I cannot shuffle this thing, so I'm literally forced to just kind of move big chunks of paper around and then randomly pull from within and see what we get. Ooh, Queen of Cups. So because this is so big, and because this is just kind of a goofy, fun thing to do, and get every zodiac a little something, I wanted to take a look at what's the big message, or the most important message for right now. We have a Queen of Cups. This says to me, Leo needs to really either step into their emotions, and maybe that means stepping back and asking themselves, what is it right now that I need my cup to be filled with? You notice she's sitting here and she's got a little bit of a look on her face, like she's kind of like eyes downcast, not sad, but contemplative. Sometimes if we're going to ask the universe to fill our cup, we have to first ask, what is it that we'd like to receive? This could be a Leo who's very used to giving, and right now they need to actually consult with the universe and ask for what they want, but they can't be lying to themselves about it. So I'm picturing this Leo might do a little sit somewhere quiet where they won't be disturbed, where, they're not going to have a car run by and, run them over or something, get into a safe space. Someplace, it could be near water, just because we're dealing with emotions, preferably probably someplace with running water, even if it's just to sit, and whatever, or stand in the shower and let water run over Leo. But asking oneself, what is it that I actually want my cup to be filled with? Meaning, what do I then want to give my energy to? I think this is a Leo who's at a funny place in their life where they need something in return right now. And it's gotten to that point where, yes, they could keep giving, they could keep loving. There's probably lots of people to give to. There's probably lots of things in their life that they absolutely love. And it doesn't mean that they're having a dissatisfying life. But this, to me, this card says, yeah, but Leo, please don't forget you're supposed to receive something as well. So definitely really nice energy of if Leo can do that, if they can ask or first be honest with themselves about what they need, then I think it comes in. This might be a really good time, specifically because we're rounding out the end of the year, and maybe Leo needs to, like mentally prepare for what comes next in their life. Next up, I have Aries. Aries is coming in at 2039. Aries, we are using what I call the world's biggest tarot deck. It is not a deck that I can shuffle. Aries, this is just a random, like kind of fun way. I probably won't use this like this again, but I thought it's such a perfect time for me to get this because I wanted to do something for each zodiac briefly before we get into full length videos again starting tomorrow. So Aries, the most important or the biggest message, and maybe that's how I should title this video, is really the biggest. Maybe, but biggest is oftentimes, it can be the most important, or we can use that word sometimes interchangeably. We have a 10 of Cups. The most important message for Aries right now is make love a priority. If there is, partnership, it's like don't spend time talking with a partner about everything that we're pissed off over. Instead, lean into that partnership and let the partner know, like, you are the best part of my day. Oh, so many terrible things happen, and that's why you are especially the best thing of the day. First reinforcing at least with that, this is my happy space. This is the space I love being in. All the other crap that goes on, all the other flying battleships and everything else, that's not, I don't have power over that. What I do have is power to let my partner know how much joy they bring me, how much peace they bring me, especially during this. Looks like an Aries is going through a very complicated time. There could be external pressure. I mean, come on, look at the world around us. We live in a tremendously difficult time. And yet this is not to negate that or ignore all the difficulties, but it is to turn the attention toward, then maybe now more than ever, to enjoy the sweet moments in life, particularly the people that are making our life, if not even just bearable, but making it bright. And so really nice message on this. I feel like that's such a great, reminder, when we walk in to the house, the end of a long day, and we walk to our partner, it's go and embrace each other first thing. This is definitely do not come in pissed off, exhausted, and ignore a partner. It says drop everything and go right to the partnership. And this doesn't have to be about romantic love. This could be anytime we get a chance to see somebody that we care about, scoop them up, cherish that moment, make sure that is the thing that is our touchstone. It doesn't mean there's not still battles in the sky and there's crap that we're going to talk about later that's been going on, but this has reinforced the beautiful space first and foremost, reinforce the relationship first and foremost. I kind of love that. I love that message. All right, next up, Sag. Here we go, coming in at 2342. Hi, guys. So nice to see everybody. I know it's nuts, guys. I am doing the world's biggest tarot card. It is literally on, just full on size paper. And it's all right. I'm fine with it. It's just, I wanted to do something a little big and special. So, by the way, I'm seeing this for the first time also. So Sag, here we go. What is the biggest or most important message for the moment? Page of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles. Okay. They wanted to come out together, so I had to keep them. First off, somebody may look awesome in berets. But we have two people in this storyline, and we definitely could be talking about a mother and a child, or we could be talking about a young soul and an old soul. Not every page, has to be seen as immature. It could be two people barely meeting and starting to talk to each other. But you notice they both hold that pentacle in their hands. And I would just say, no matter what the differences are between two people, you can see they're both in their heads a little bit. And if there's a desire for two people to talk at all, that right there says, okay, they both want to bring something to the table. They both want to mediate this. So whether this is mother and child who maybe have had some conflict or something, they both would like to talk. So make space for that. Whether this is boss and employee, like everybody actually wants resolution and they want to grow from this. Nobody is here trying to create conflict, which is an amazing message. Also, the importance of letting one another speak and let the other one listen. That's also a really strong message that I get off of this, because it's like, whoever holds the the pentacle, that's the equivalent of the microphone or the talking, coin or something. And it's like, and that's where the other person must listen while the first person does their communicating, and then vice versa. But it just says everyone has a need for their voice to be heard. And I would argue both people have something of real value to contribute. And it doesn't matter who has the more sophisticated vocabulary. It is literally a minute by minute struggle for me to find vocabulary, which is why it's fun to do improv style storytelling like this. But I have to find the right words, and I only get one shot to do it because this is live. That's nerve-wracking, but it's also a challenge that I do enjoy. But finding the right words so that it doesn't come out wrong, so that we actually find the right way to non-confrontationally communicate when it's not a fictional story, when it's real life, that's 1,000 times harder, right? So the fact that we have, for Sag, we have the desire here for two people that want to communicate, and neither one is wanting to be offensive. Both want to find growth and resolution out of this. To me, that speaks volumes about how well this thing could turn out, as long as each person gives each other full attention, full respect, and maybe a couple of hey, I'm hearing what you're saying and you've got amazing points, or I'm not sure I fully understand, will you tell me more? Because sometimes the page doesn't necessarily, they may start the dialogue, but they don't know how to express what they're trying to. So it may require whomever is a little bit better with vocabulary to maybe encourage it. But I just see two people really getting to the point where they could communicate beautifully. And if this was a difficult connection or a difficult relationship, this could totally get back on track, which is wonderful to see. All right, next up, Ophiuchus. Here we go. Ophiuchus, I'm putting you kind of smack dab in the middle here, and then we'll end with those water signs. All right, so Ophiuchus, I have what I'm calling the world's biggest tarot deck right now, and it's not something I can genuinely shuffle, so I'm literally just grabbing from somewhere in the stack and going for it. So we have got, but I'm looking for what is the most important or the biggest message, Hang on, I do need a sip from my big cup too. And we have the 9 of Cups. First off, somebody is all wearing liquid gold. His hair is glossy and black. Everything around him seems to be shiny. This is somebody who feels like they are in the most perfect, most youthful, most shiny era of their life. They may have a bit of look at me, aren't I fab kind of energy, and they're very self-satisfied about this. Now we could say, yes, that's terrific. You're very pretty, very, absolutely. Everybody can see you're glossy and you're fabulous. The reason this could be important is not to put a negative spin on this person, be like, oh, how arrogant, how embarrassing, but rather just to recognize because this 9 of Cups can be a card of overindulgence. And then by contrast, it can be somebody who's just really happy. They're not full of themselves. He can't help it that he's good looking. He didn't do anything to ask to look like that. I mean, maybe he did go buy himself a golden jacket, but maybe that's his taste, and should he be shunned for that? Sometimes we can look at somebody and assume that they are cocky and they are this and they are that. And this is the reminder that just because somebody is happy in their life, or they look really good, doesn't mean that they're full of themselves. It doesn't mean that they're selfish. So this is really the reminder of, this person could be super cocky. They could be somebody who is like, whatever, they think that they're the greatest thing ever, or they could really truly just be genuinely nice, happy, easygoing, and it's not their fault that they look so perfect. So let's not judge them and be like, oh, well, that person, like, doors just open like magic for them. Whomever this is, and this could be like Ophiuchus needing to recognize that they look freaking fantastic, and people sometimes might be rude toward Ophiuchus because they're assuming Ophiuchus is some kind of behavior, some kind of person. Oh, your life must be really easy. And it's like, don't judge anybody's life by what they look like. Get to know them. If Ophiuchus has been misjudged, it might be Ophiuchus needs to realize it's because you look freaking fantastic. Now, the flip side, of course, could also be careful that we don't judge somebody else until we get to know them. And then by all means, if they're full of themselves and how to touch, it's like, oh my God, you got a lot of growing up to do. It all depends on how somebody like communicates. But honestly, this kind of leans me a lot further towards somebody just being like genuinely happy. I mean, if this is somebody Ophiuchus is getting to know, it says really get to know them and see how that goes, because this could be really, really a wonderful person. So we don't want to misjudge them just because they look shiny. They look fantastic. So I don't know, kind of a good reminder not to judge books by their cover. All right, I'm going to put Cancerian in this, even though Cancer is usually, I do them on Tuesday and Saturday over on Tarot Dog, but I always feel weird about leaving Cancer out on this channel if I do something like this. So Cancer, you are being added into this. I'll have to make a note on Tarot Dog, or maybe I'll put a link over on Tarot Dog. Cancer, we are doing kind of a strange thing. I have what I'm calling the world's biggest tarot deck. Obviously cannot shuffle it. This is not possible. So what I am doing is just randomly moving and trying my best to shuffle and then going for something somewhere in the middle of the deck. That's the only way I can do this. Okay, we have Judgment. Fantastic. Judgment is... there's possibly forgiveness. I'm just looking for what is the most important message, the biggest message right now. And it says Scorpio energy, but it says for Cancerian, I'm going to say listen to the message coming in from one's own, I'll say conscience on this one. I don't know if Cancer, look, I never think anybody has to give anybody else forgiveness. Okay. So let me just preface that. But let's just say Cancer already knows how they feel about something. They already know what they want to do about something. They already know how they want to react or interact. Cancer knows that already. So what then do they do? And it's like, sometimes with the Judgment card, because this can be making the judgment call, this can be bringing something back to life, this can be us being the bigger person, reaching out and saying sorry to someone, even if it's like, it's not my fault, but you know what? I know they're hurting a lot more than I am, so I can be the generous person. That would make my conscience feel better. Sometimes we settle a score for us inside, not because we have to, but because we feel better. So I always say, do the thing you can live with. Do the thing that, even if it's not exactly our fault, if we still want to extend something to someone, we could do that if it's going to, make life better, make life easier. But there's other times in life to make the decision to be like, nope, that's the end of the road on this one. And that judgment call can be either. It just says, I think if Cancer simply decides in their own heart space, because I don't always think that the Judgment card is about actually doing anything. I think it's about coming to a conclusion inside of ourselves. And I think Cancer already knows how they feel about something. To give forgiveness doesn't mean we call that person back up and invite them back into our house. Sometimes we surrender how we felt about something inside of our heart, and we say, I'll never speak to you in the real world, but I can tell you in my heart, I can let this go, and I wish you well. And Cancer could be just letting go of somebody in their heart space. I'm a little bit more inclined right now to say, if Cancer already knows what they want to do, because, Gabriel's over there blowing his horn, I kind of think Cancer is going to wind up reaching out to somebody. I think this is Cancer making the first move, not because they have to, but because I think they've decided that they want to. And that could be to patch up something with a family member. It doesn't always have to be about love, but it's what Cancer kind of already knew they were going to do after they thought through things, felt the way they felt, validated that, and then make their move. All right. And then Pisces is next, coming in at 11, excuse me. Pisces, I have what I am calling the world's biggest tarot deck. I can't really shuffle this, and I've been down with my lungs for like most of the week, and I'm finally feeling so much better, but I'm so behind, and I wanted everybody to get like one small thing tonight. And then tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, we'll get back to doing full-length videos for all the zodiacs. I just barely got done with all of the retrograde messages, so now we can get back on track. But Pisces, what is the big message? What is the important message right now? We have Knight of Cups. In this case, I would say my first impression is if we're going to do things that we enjoy, then we probably have to leave our houses to do them. This says to take action toward the things that give us joy in life. If we want to learn to play an instrument, we probably need to actually go take a class and learn to play. If we know we're not disciplined enough to do it, in our own house, there's a lot of stuff you could do solo, but this says, I think Pisces has things that they really want to do. And I almost think that Pisces has been saying, oh, I'd love to go do that, but here comes the time. Now I think I'll just stay home. And this says Pisces maybe needs to get out there because either other people need Pisces energy to interact with, or Pisces would be, when we take action in life, actions have reactions. And I almost think that through an activity that Pisces has wanted to do, but keeps kind of like, when the day comes, they don't go. When the hour shows up, they put on their pajamas instead and stay home. And this says, no, Pisces needs to actually go. But it could be because that's what opens the doorway to their next great love story, to their next great adventure. Everything that we do starts somewhere. It starts somewhere. Once upon a time, I was super, super shy, and I still am, but I decided I really wanted to belly dance. I loved dancing, and I knew that would be a good thing to get me out of my shell. But on top of that, I was going to have to get over the shyness, which is a whole separate thing. So I took acting lessons at the community college to just try to not be so nervous. And then the dancing part, dancing alone, silently, or, away from everybody was fine. But I decided I should probably really go all in and try to do some of the competitions, which, by the way, wasn't good. I think I took third out of 3 people one time though. But still, that helped me so much in my life as a whole. So sometimes you make a decision and you have to push yourself to go do it. And then as you do it, then it helps in other areas of life. I'm only using that as a personal anecdote because I'm trying to not be rude when I say this, but to also illuminate, sometimes we do have to start somewhere. And then it changes life a little bit. So anyway, that's the message for our Pisces. And then last but not least, we've got Scorpio, 3818 for our Scorpio. Scorpio, I am chuckling saying I have the world's biggest tarot deck right now. I can't possibly shuffle it properly. So instead, what I am doing is, after being down with my asthma for most of the week, I wanted to do a little something for every zodiac tonight. And then tomorrow we'll start back on full-length videos. In order to do that, I thought it would be fun to take a look at what is the biggest, most important message. So if we want to call that a shuffle, the Strength card came to the top of the deck. But Scorpio, I'm going to get you guys another one because it's your season after all, right? It's your season. So here we go. We have got a 2 of Pentacles, a Knight of Wands, and a 7 of Wands. Ooh. Okay, so hang on. If we're starting out with Strength card, that's our Leo. And obviously we have a feminine here who is possibly got a really dedicated pet who really senses our Scorpio's energy. And that could be a dog, that could be a cat, heck, that could be a bunny or a turtle. Pets are so intuitive. But I am looking at that right now as a full-blown animal. like a familiar or something, possibly. And it's the reason I think a pet is particularly like affectionate right now is, I mean, maybe Scorpio is like a shaman of sorts. Maybe they're good with all animals, but I feel like somebody's pet is around Scorpio a lot more right now. And it could be because Scorpio seems to be gazing in the direction of this Two of Pentacles. Okay. Now, this could be somebody that is confusing them. This could be somebody that has been bothering them. This has been, when I say bothering them because they don't know if this person is consistent or if this person is trustworthy. It almost feels like Scorpio is saying, I need to stay away from this individual. It makes me a little sad because I don't know that I think that they're 100% trustworthy. I'm not so sure that that works for me. And I would just say that Scorpio is over here in a place where they kind of want to keep this person at bay with the Seven of Wands. And I think they know that this person might be showing back up. I don't know if this is somebody who plays with Scorpio's heart a bit, but that's my impression, especially because of the protective nature of the familiar, the animal here. It almost feels like Scorpio is, wanting to keep a boundary up and worried that, will I have what it takes to keep the boundary up, or over time, will I let this person back in? And I would just say, if the big message here is, I don't think that I want to deal with somebody that I don't see as consistent, I don't think Scorpio is going to have any problem letting somebody know, like, no, you can't. I'm sorry, I'm hearing, I don't want no scrubs. No, I don't want to take your number. No, I don't want to give you time. And no, don't want none of your time. Sorry. This feels like Scorpio senses somebody's going to be coming back around, and it's going to be the one that they don't want to talk to. With the Seven of Wands, this is all about how we get through obstacles or how we put up obstacles. And just because Scorpio is like removed up at a higher level and tucked away from this, I don't really see it being a problem. I don't see Scorpio struggling with this after all. I think it's going to go a lot easier than what they think, because if they don't like somebody's behavior being wishy-washy or inconsistent, this is basically Scorpio saying, well, they can't come back unless they've changed significantly. But maybe even if they change, let me just ask myself, do I want this situation back? Scorpio always holds the power to determine who gets a slice of their time. So I don't know. 7 is a divine number. It is a number of change. 7 of Wands is not conflict and drama. It's how we get around conflict and drama. And usually that's by putting the right boundaries up and, speaking what we really feel. So I don't really see a problem here. I don't see this being a massive issue after all, but it just boils down to Scorpio maybe needing to realize that they're allowed to have whatever opinion that they have. No matter what, they have every right to hold their opinions. All right, you guys. So I know this is a weird one. I just had to have some fun. And I wanted a chance to say hi to everybody. And thank you guys for being so patient with me throughout this week. You notice I'm not really coughing in this one. So it's getting a lot better. And I don't feel so tired now. So it's just good to be back. Signs and Sinks, you're so generous. Oh my God, thank you. You guys, also, I do want to mention I will be going live on both channels. I'm slating that for sometime probably midday tomorrow. There'll be a half hour here and a half hour on the other channel. In the morning, I'm intending to do some zodiacs. So, and I won't do anything else on this channel tonight other than at midnight, we will have a today's topic that comes out. And then it'll probably be somewhere. It might be quite late because I do have dinner guests coming at 8. But if I can still get over to Tarot Dog tonight, I'll do a collective over there. But otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much, Signs and Sinks. You are so lovely, so generous. Thank you a million times over. You guys are so amazing. Thank you for giving it a thumbs up. I will get these timestamped for you also. The timestamps will be right there in the description box, okay? Nice to see everyone. AJ, Living Water, Sandy, you sweetheart. Thank you. Yale. Wonderful to see you, babe. Thanks again, Dragon Fortnite. Awesome to see you. And thank you for reminding me, Dragon Fortnite. Hi, V. SLH. Hi, honey. D-Rod, La Unique One. It is my pleasure. I'm sorry these aren't full-length videos yet, but I knew I couldn't get it done today. I had to go easy one more day. And I was like, ooh, but we could have fun. And then when I got this, I was like, we know what we're doing tonight. We're doing something weird. Hi, Hetty. Michelle S. Delighted to see you, sweetheart. I know, signs and sinks. Yeah, we definitely don't need glasses for these ones. I'll probably use these again, at least because they're really pretty images. But yeah, we'll play with them, but probably not quite like this. Nope. Hi, sweetheart. Thank you guys so much for being here. Wintwa Few, thank you, honey. Christina 111. Thank you guys so much. Beth Ross, Jessica O, Manzi Halls. And again, welcome everybody that's a new member. Christina 111, Sarah Pritchard, Brave Pink Hero Green, Ashley Slashley, Brittany, Savita Convalius, Paris Jade Humphrey, Carrie, Gazia Mosin. Thank you guys and welcome. Ken Ramey, hi. I know, Manzi Hall, these are big cards. LJ, thank you, love. Thank you so much. Christina 111, thank you. It's my pleasure, honey. Sam Juanita, hey. I wish I could shuffle those giant cards. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine how big my hands would have to be to shuffle a full-on size? You know, I'm a 6 foot tall person, so I have big hands, but this is, you know, a full-on paper size. That's 8 by 11. Could you imagine if I had hands that big? That would be hilarious. Oh my God. Queen V, Angel Goddess, wonderful to see you, babe. Dan Alsha, awesome to see you. Hi, Sparkle. And again, Nor A, thank you, babe. Bellum V, yes. Oh my God, it feels so good to be back and be myself. Red Empress 999. And again, Lane Change, you were first in the house. All right, guys, lots of love. I will see you again over on Tarot Dog later tonight. Tasha Ramos, hi, babe. Zion's Gamming, hi. All right, you guys, take care for right now. I'll timestamp these now. Bye.